Come on, everybody, let's start the show. A quick ahoy hoy and away we'll go. Richard's got a minifig and Flynn's got a pin. The gang's all here and it's time to begin. Tricky Bricks roll call. Moto, Holly, Kara, and sometimes Blair, Clicky, Logan, Ms. Thing and Angela, and Thunderman Ho! Now you're here to grab your bricks and let's go to the Tricky Bricks Build and Check Show!
Ahoy, hoy, friends!
Ahoy, hoy!
Did you see my panicked look?
I did.
I was like reaching for the
mouse. We made it.
just in case I screwed it up. Hi, ahoy, hoy, everybody! How's it going this morning? Hope you're all having a good one. Wow, I've already got some awesome people in the chat. Very good. Hi to you. I've got my, I'm not really drinking out of a plain white coffee mug. Unless you think that something's happened. Exactly. Hey, you know what's exciting?
What's that?
Today is October 1st. And you know what that means? It means the rest of the world starts celebrating Halloween, or at least the rest of the United States and some other parts of the world. But yeah, like when I say everybody else, is because of course it is Halloween here all the time,
Year round.
And
of course the hobbies and craft stores we go to have had Halloween out since the 4th of July.
Well, yes, and now they're moving it all aside for the Christmas stuff. Because why not? Anyway, yes, so welcome to October, everybody. I'm personally excited because it means that I can wear all of the things that I normally like to wear, and nobody says like, "Hey, Halloween's in October."
You mean the things? Oh, I guess you're dressed for Halloween.
I know,
just regular.
I know. No, these are just my clothes. I've got resting Halloween face. Yeah. All right. Anyway, it was worth a try. I just throw things at the wall. Sometimes they work.
They stick.
Sometimes they just fall off.
Well, look at this. We've got people waiting in the green room just on the edge of their seats.
On the edge of their seats. It's true. So somebody, I'm going to start off with the people in order of people that we've seen in person most recently. And that would be Minifigchick.
Hi, Kara.
Hi, Kara.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Okay. How about y'all?
Good.
Very good. Very
Having
good.
a nice morning.
And I agree. Spooky season is here.
So the person I've seen next in person would be Moto. Hi, Moto.
Greetings from the way up west, whatever that is, part of the United States.
About middle left-hand side of the palm of the hand.
Yes.
Exactly. I don't know which way to fit, I can't really get Florida to work with my hand, but yeah, use your imagination.
That's
Well,
okay.
we're glad
That's
to see you
okay.
wherever
Nobody can
you're
get
from.
Florida to work. But
Yeah,
that's a whole other
I'm
story.
celebrating the season as well, so there you go.
Oh yes.
Hey, that's awesome.
Disney villains.
That's
colors.
a great shirt. That's a great
Probably
shirt.
probably the best convention shirt I've ever gotten.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I keep trying to get one and they don't have them anymore, sadly.
Yeah, they do. I bought this 2 weeks ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you go to the Brick Slope site, they have a store where you can buy former seasons of their shirts.
Okay, well, that will be a must purchase. There you go. And I'm sure Kara is busily looking up the link put in the chat for everybody.
Yeah, so you can pretend that you've been to the reduced scale COVID Brick Slopes convention.
There
with
we
the great
go.
shirt. Yeah.
There we go. All right. And the person that I haven't seen in the longest period of time in person, Holly. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, is that true? You've seen Moto since you've seen me last?
Yeah, because I saw Moto in Chicago.
But I feel like I just saw you guys like.
No, it was back. That was Cascade.
Cascades is earlier in the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you came up to work on that project, that wasn't after Cascade?
Yeah.
No, that was right before Cascade because I came home and came back a week later.
I have no sense of time, honestly.
You know, well, you've been busy.
Wow. I feel like I just saw you. Like, seriously. It's
I
blowing
know.
my mind.
It's because we see each other here every
Maybe that's
every
what
week.
it is. Yeah. Maybe.
So
Well, and you're not wearing a black T-shirt today. What's with that?
Laundry day.
oh, there you go. Very
You
good.
Awesome.
Called out.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am wearing a Kubo shirt though, which is on the spooky side. Yeah.
It is, I would
Okay.
say.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. One of
And
the
no,
few
Monica,
non-
we didn't go camping in Oregon. We went camping in at Mount Diablo, which is here
Close
in
by.
California, like
It's
an hour
within
from
an
our
hour.
house.
We did go camping together, but that was like a year
Yes,
ago.
that was a year ago. So there you go. Hey, time flies.
I know.
Golly, well, I think it's time for pins.
Okay.
Oh shoot! I got something yesterday, but it's still in the car. I forgot to take it out, so I'm gonna just
Okay, we're gonna
go
let Car
while
go
you
first,
cover. You
as
cover, yeah.
usual. So Car can cover.
All right, here's a, I would say, kind of an underappreciated character.
Oh, Pluto.
Oh, that's a great one. That's just so graphically nice and
Right?
you know, simple to understand. It's not like Pluto as a bear claw donut.
I know, right? No, it's just Pluto is a dog who's excited, and we're excited, and yay.
Yeah.
And for being dogs,
Very
I'd
good.
say Pluto and Goofy are pretty different from one another. I mean, Goofy's kind of a dog.
Well, Goofy talks.
Goofy's a dog, yeah, and he talks, and Pluto doesn't.
That's his
So I
son.
don't know what
He
exactly happened there.
He walks around.
Backstory, I'm sure.
I try not to think too hard about that.
No, Goofy's like from the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, okay. Now, all right. Holly. Oh, okay. I thought you were frozen, but you're not actually frozen.
No,
You
I
were
was
just
just
staring
looking-
intently.
I was kind of looking at all the details on this pen. I think I've shown it before, but it's a really good one. It's this little goblin, and he has a little flask, and it says the kind that gets you drunk, which I just
Yeah, well, that's like the one that you got me one of those.
yes, yeah, it's one
Yeah.
of the same series, and I just love it. I think
That's
it's amazing.
awesome.
Like, I don't even know what all's going on here, but I'm here for it.
Well, I'm excited. I have a new jacket for putting pins on that's actually like denim, so they don't fall out like they do on a hoodie. So
Mhm.
it's very exciting. All right.
Okay, since we're looking into
Whoa, what happened there?
Ooh.
Sorry, Holly. I hit the wrong
okay.
button there. There we go.
Since we're looking into
Who knows?
challenging Lego problems, opportunities for design, there's Oswald scratching his head. Gonna figure out
Cookie.
out.
Sorry, Cookie was running behind.
That's
and
okay.
Having some coffee in the break room. I have got now. It's not a Disney pin, but I've got a definite like first day of spooky season pin, and that
Nice.
is
Oh yeah.
Roar.
my vampire. And speaking of spooky season, I'm kicking off the spooky season with some new tattoos that are all spooky season themed, and I am very, very excited. I
Yeah,
gotta
you're
tell
getting
you.
your sleeves done, right?
Yeah, I'm finally completing the front parts of my sleeves. If you've ever seen me in person, I'm pretty tattooed most of the way, but the very front parts of my arms of my sleeves are unfinished. So after many years, they are going to be completed, and I'm super psyched. I found an artist that I really like, and yeah. Actually, I can show you the flash for one of them.
Thrilling.
While he's looking,
What's that,
Yeah,
Moto?
here's Moto's pen. Are you able to
Whoa,
read
is
them?
that a geographic?
this is a bicentennial Alaskan cadastral survey marker from the Department of the Interior,
Wow.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
and there's two more.
Whoa.
now I know you didn't take those survey markers from their survey positions.
No, Mr. Meow and I are back to estate sales, and I don't know, they're pretty heavy, so I'm going to use these as great weights whenever I have a large piece of paper or blueprint out.
I beg
Oh,
you
those are
to
great.
I beg you to please make a belt buckle out of one of them.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That would
That
be
would be killer.
an amazing belt buckle. I'm
Really
just
good.
saying.
Yeah, what's great
We can
is
market
these
those.
things were cast in Madison, Wisconsin, so close to where I grew up. That's cool too.
Very good. Yeah, it would be super easy to weld a little belt buckle thing on the back of that. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness.
That would
Okay,
be funny.
so this guy, his name is Lewis, and he works at the tattoo studio where I work sometimes, and not as a tattooer. I just work the front desk. But check this out. You know how much I love the old school monsters. So this is
Ooh,
his Wolfman.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
This
I am
cool hunter
really
eyes.
excited about it. He's got a great style, I think. So the rest of them you'll just have to wait and see until
You can
then.
show them in situ.
Yeah. I dare say. Well, I will say he's really good at doing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons type monsters. So he's doing a Ray Harryhausen Medusa for me. Yeah,
cool, too.
really excited about it. So anyway, enough about that. Lego stuff.
Well, they'll be visible when you're demonstrating how to put
It
Lego
is when I'm
together. As a hand
to
model.
terrify the children even more.
There's two things going on in the Lego world.
Yeah,
What's
why don't
that,
you
Moto?
tell us, Moto?
Well, the first is October 1st. So if you're not in a long line, you've missed out already.
Right, exactly.
We're here. We're not the Lego store. And the second one is Lego Masters Season 4 is officially kicked off this week.
That's
True. Now,
true.
Has
That is
everyone here
true.
watched it?
I did.
Not yet.
We haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I mean,
Why you have spoilers?
well, of course I
Of
know what
course.
happened because
It's all
they
spoilers.
because Lego Masters Fox, and I will say this every single time you have a season, stop posting the winners and the persons who go home on Twitter after the East Coast show premieres.
Well, there's a solution to that. Just don't
a
go
lot
on
of
X.
people.
I don't.
Go on X.
Yeah, we didn't watch
I
it
will
till
never call it that.
we
Sorry.
didn't watch it till the next day, and it wasn't spoiled for me somehow. I think staying off the socials does help.
Yes, but still, we live in a world where social media is relevant to a lot of people. And for them to do that,
I know,
is
no, it's bad form.
not okay.
Yeah,
Like, it's just not.
I agree.
So there you go.
Can I show you what I'm doing right now while we're chatting?
What was that?
Can I show you what I'm doing right now?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
please.
I have to perform surgery on my tower of orthos that fell off the shelf
Oh, man.
while they were replacing. We had doors and windows replaced, and so while they were chiseling out the door, this came flying off the shelf. So
Oh, that's painful.
I'm actually not upset because this was a set that I acquired secondhand that was already built. So I have an excuse to rebuild it.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
Well, and look who's
I
here.
s-
Miss Slowbrickta just showed up. Hi, Dawn. And
Yeah,
hi, Emily built it.
I just saw that set for sale for $850. Yep.
Wow.
Sealed, I'm sure.
Nope. Out and just complete with figs with belt. No box, no instructions. $850. At a bam.
Wow.
Yep.
We have the
Crazy.
parts of it.
It's like
It's been
saving.
incorporated into our collection, but yeah.
Well, the color palette is dear to our heart.
That's pretty
Black.
I'm a little upset I never got the what are the ships called? Something ambush pirate? What's the name of the ships from Lord of the Rings? Help me.
I wouldn't know.
They're
Those
like
ships.
yeah, I don't know. I have like almost all the ships, like, or at least all of the like really important ships, and I missed out on those. I was always waiting to find a good deal on them and never did, and then they just passed me by.
Oh, you have a regret, see?
I do. I do have regrets.
Oh my goodness. Well,
So how are you going about putting that back together? Are you doing it by intuition? Do you have the instructions
I have
out?
instructions, of course. Most of it, there's like big chunks still intact. So I'm kind of just getting it to a point where like I'll take this off to the layer, and just kind of build it layer by layer, I think is the plan.
yep.
So That's
Very cool.
some of it I might puzzle together just to get, because this is like, this half, is just kind of missing. It's just missing like a section here. So I have to
Right.
sort of puzzle this part together. And then once I get that part together, then I can go in and start layering it up. So it should be
makes
fun.
sense.
I'll be
Very
busy
cool.
for this show.
At least you have a plan. That's the
Dust it.
first thing.
Yeah.
I feel like your Lego storage room is dust free. It's miraculous. You have all those models out. You must dust regularly.
I do not. And I mean, I'm dusting this as I go just to kind of like, because this was already, again, I bought it secondhand. So it was pretty dusty even when I acquired it. And when it fell apart, I noticed, on the inside of one of the, where there's the big tubes, there's a little bit of a spider web type thing in there that took me a minute to get all that out.
Oh yeah.
You
Definitely not
don't
dust-free.
You don't remember that she has a clean room seal on the door and it's pressurized, that the air is always blowing outwards whenever you open the door, and just blows all the, and there's sticky tack on the bottom, so your shoes get all the dust off. Yeah.
I
I
really
used to
wear the
that on
bunny suits.
construction site.
yeah.
Hey friends, by the way, it's time to give a shout out in the chat so we can say hi to everybody who's here. So make sure that you get a hello in there so we can say hi. So it's interesting you doing that, because it's very similar to what the theme of our show today is behind the MOC, and we are going to be doing, now we've showed you a little bit about our haunted clock before, just sort of like, here's a thing and here's lots of wheels and pulleys, but we're actually going to like talk about what things do in this. It is, I mean, I'd like to say we'd have it ready by Cascade, but we'll see.
I don't know,
because
I don't know if we'll have it ready by Cascade. This is a complex one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we have a good start, but it needs a redo.
Wheels, pulleys, it's all ball bearings these days.
I know. It's all, well, that's how we started. That was our very first ball bearings. Was our first, Snake Queen was our big ball bearings thing. Well,
and funny you mentioned
tile
ball
bearings.
bearings, because I actually want to. I haven't figured out exactly how it's going to be, but on the EV3 robot, one of the models you get has a ball bearing. It's about the size of a GVC ball, but it weighs a lot more.
Oh yeah.
And I want to use one of those ball bearings to do a GBC effect in this piece, because I like how much gravity, affects that heavier ball. But we'll see. There's probably a reason why all those GBC people don't use steel ball bearings.
Right.
You just
All
get
right,
more
well, hey,
ABS dust. That's it.
Let's see who's here. We've got Apples is here from Europe. Hey, Apples, how's it going? We got See You Later. Debo Bricks is here.
Hey, Debo.
Emily Builds It. Fabby Fan MKE. Hooded One. Jedi Rob Frost. Kat Harmon. Hey, Kat, how's it going?
And Sam's probably right
He
there.
is. He's right down there on the S's. We've got Lisa Head is here, and kicking off the Emscapades, we've got Minifig Chick, Minifig Nick, Monica Berry, and Moto, and Ms. Slow Brickta coming in.
Emscapade.
Right in there.
And Minifig Nick, it's so good to see you, friend. So glad to see you here. We've got Pit Brickyard. Hey, haven't seen you in a little while.
There's
Sam Harmon is here. Scott Caswell. Hey, Scott. And Smoke Up Johnny is here. And of course, bonsoir to Wilfred, wherever you may be, and Zarachino.
Kim.
Always.
Always and
Johnny's
forever.
A long-time viewer of the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, you know what? We've got, and Two Humble Bricks is here. I just saw hello. And maybe I was just imagining it. Our lighting looks like crazy there for a minute.
Crazy.
Emily, we try. We do our best. So golly, well, yeah. So we
I
also
should put my pin on.
we also figured, not only will we, talk about our mock, which, that's really boring for everybody at a certain point. So I invited our panelists. Well, I mean, I don't want to take up the entire time talking about our model, because we have other people here who make amazing models that I thought that they might want to show off something that they've made that they wanted to do, or wanted to say a little behind the scenes thing about it, or a build technique that they liked. That's not required of them, by the way.
Mhm.
But I know that that all of these people in front of you have MOCs that they've worked on, and might have some kind of secret something they could tell you about it.
We got to see behind the scenes at Minifigchick's factory of hobby amazingness,
AKA storage unit,
including the vault of Lego sets.
We did see the vault.
And I think maybe Minifigchick and Holly have more of a vault than Moto. Moto seems to have much more a vault of
No,
of
Holly is queen of the vault. Like there's nobody touches that. Holly's basically got like her own Lego store.
Remember
Like she could
when we were-
open a store.
When we were at the Lego house and they showed the museum in the basement.
That was
of all the
actually
previous-
Holly's house.
That was Holly's house.
We just said it was Lego house. We weren't really there. It was like the moon landing. We faked it. Like we just filmed the whole thing at Holly's house.
I mean, maybe that's my retirement plan. You never know. You never know.
Hey, it should be. If it's not,
Kinda is.
I kind of figured it was. So
Yeah.
you
little
know,
bit.
you got. There's not. I mean, that wasn't like a shaming recognition. That was
No.
like, wow, you've got it going on.
It's kind of shameful. I've been collecting a long time, though. Long
It's
time.
true. It's
Yeah.
true. Okay. So, is there anybody that has something that they want to show real quick before real long before we launch into our tirade?
Well, we saw Moto. It's in pieces.
Yeah,
now.
let's see that.
The only hint I have for you guys to do this is on these TIE fighter wings.
Yes.
If you look at the ends of that helicopter blade pattern,
Mm-hmm.
there's some clips. So to make it really sturdy, I threw the inkwells on top of the one on the bottom. So when I sandwiched it, it didn't just click into the studs pattern.
Oh,
It
look at
also
that.
used the bars on the end, so you can see the gold inkwells in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. That's some nice Lego math fitting right there. How tall is one of those inkwells?
It's a 2-plate.
Just 2 plates, including
Yeah, the base
little
is 1
stem.
plate, and then the little nib or bar element with a opening is a plate high. And also, it just happened to keep everything lined up, so I knew it was a perfect hexagon when I made that base. But
That's great.
Yeah. inkwells are inset so that you can stud in and then clip those together if you ever want to make a helicopter with a really strong pattern, not have your rotors fly off when you're trying to get through the air.
That is really cool.
So I noticed it's in parts. Does that mean you didn't have you had a custom stand you were making for it?
Well, the stand is nothing to write home about. It's just simple geometry where you use triangulation in the Technic members, the lift arms, to sturdy it
Yep.
up. There's nothing huge going
Little
on there.
triangles.
Yeah. Yeah, see? And then tiled it
Friendship
up to make it.
timber.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my little show and tell for this section.
Very cool.
Not removing us.
Oh no, I'm not removing us. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm
There we
still
go.
here.
He's helping
You're
us
still
out.
there. Sorry, I'm simultaneously trying to get my phone usable as a second camera so that I can
Wow.
show
Oh, goodness.
the
Crazy.
yeah, I can show them all. The only problem with this is it doesn't allow me to flip the camera around to the back side of the camera. It like only wants to use the front face.
You know, I remember being amazed the first time I went to a Lego convention and I saw someone with a paintbrush. I thought, how could anyone just be that fussy with the tiny little details? And now I know.
Yep. I know. I actually
Just
need to get my little. I use a makeup brush, and it's actually in my con kit, my case that I take to cons, and I need to go get it because I need it right
Yeah,
now.
we have a con toolkit as well. I mean, I think some of this, like maybe I'll need to have a little air compressor. Oh, I bet couldn't we use the air compressor from the what's it
The
called?
airbrush?
From the airbrush
Probably, yeah.
to clean out some of the deeper parts of this.
Well, we also have the goo.
Or
We
slime
have-
it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
keyword
slime.
On
slime.
Moto, we've got the slime.
Yeah.
It
I was-
look, it's so cute. It has a little cap and everything. So it's just
That's
a little
cute.
capsule,
Oh,
and you
nice.
can put it in your
Tiny
pocket.
little work.
Yeah, you can put it in your pocket so it doesn't get messed up, and then you just expand it.
That's like one of those punishments when you're a kid. You have to clean the entire Lego room with a makeup brush.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's all right, mommy dearest. Jeez, I would not want to be.
I just
I
imagine
didn't
parts.
have to do
No,
that when I was
on my
a kid.
Lego
There's
with
a
the
reason
brush.
that we don't have kids. I'm just saying.
Wait, are you saying that makes us a bad parent if we
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
Well,
parents,
it
Holly.
depends. The entire Lego room with a makeup brush would be a pretty serious
I,
grounding.
yeah, I would say that would have to be. It would depend on the level of infraction. How about that?
Pay them.
Mm.
Well,
You could
that's
do
not.
that. No, that's good.
That's-
piecework.
Yeah, that's not punishment. That's just chores.
Exactly.
Well,
Anyway.
I have this idea. It's been so long since I was given money for doing chores. I wonder now if that money must be in paper form. It was in change.
Oh, yeah,
when I was a kid.
absolutely.
Yeah. I let you buy things at the grocery store in exchange for.
I
doing
was
the
gonna
dishes.
say I basically pay for chores in Starbucks.
Oh, that's awesome! You have like you have
What?
baristas in house.
No, we have a Starbucks right next to our house, and the kids always want, like $5 hot chocolates and stuff. And so to earn
Oh,
that, they
got
do
it.
chores. Yeah.
Well, your kids have fancy chocolate tastes.
Now I
We
want
do.
hot
Oof.
chocolate.
Okay, so
I
the
could
phone- my
not do
phone
that.
is working, but it refuses to turn. So I'm just gonna have to awkwardly use it as a other thing.
Yes, I realize the dust will come back. We know how this works.
It does. I need to make a custom, like we've been sewing lately. I need to sew a slip cover for our MOC.
I have this as well, the little like vacuum. But I have, you have to get the big chunks off first, and then I go in there with the little duster thing.
Well, does Skittles shed on your MOC?
She's a doodle, so she doesn't shed really as much as most dogs, I suppose.
Mhm.
Logan sheds a lot, and I don't know. Like it's like he stands on top of the MOC and shakes or something.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know how dog hair gets 6 feet in the air.
honestly the worst of it is because we had the doors and windows replaced. That's what created a lot of this massive amount of dust.
Oh, sure.
It just
With
gets into the vents
painting
and
and
it goes
plastering
everywhere.
and all that.
Yeah.
What are you working on, Minifigchick?
I am putting together the last two of my non-Lego Koroks.
Oh,
What the heck?
You found
It's
me.
the Legend of Zelda. Yeah.
Totally, yeah. Oh my god.
Now, are those non-Lego bricks designed to mesh with Lego bricks, or is that an entirely different system?
It's fake Lego. So it's not. I will do my best to not allow them to merge, but I had to get them because Koroks are so cute.
Fabby Fan MKE, you're heading into the game. What game is that?
Yeah, they're the volleyball game or something. He said
Oh,
So it's not
an actual sports thing.
Isn't there a sports ball game today?
A Badgers volleyball game. Well, there's a
Oh,
Badgers volleyball game according to Fabby Fan MKE. So
All right.
As long as it's not part of a squid game, I think we're all okay with
Oh
that.
my God.
do I need to maybe?
Oh,
I
that would
need
be
to
more
get a
entertaining.
light-
Or a Hunger game.
Yeah. Speaking of
Hunger
knockoffs,
game.
did you guys see the Barbie car that Bruce posted? It's like
No.
it's a Mega Bloks, but it's a really good design for a car.
Sweet.
Yeah.
now I need that.
From now on, I'm
Okay.
gonna refer to it as Mega Bloks just to be that awful person.
Isn't it
It'll
though?
always
I
be-
mean, that's the brand, isn't it?
Mega Block is the brand, just like
well,
Lego.
Mega. It's Mega, but
Yeah, Mega.
it's a Mega Bloks set, is what I meant.
guess
Ooh,
so.
I got a whole bunch of Barbie sets.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
But it was
That's
it's
Mattel.
a pretty good looking
Yep.
model. Not to
Okay.
say I would buy it. I was admiring the design.
Okay, so I'm gonna
We've got pieces and parts just hanging out under here. I almost need to get the tweezers out to get some of these parts.
oh my goodness. Well, for some reason, this my phone is also like while StreamYard is open, refuses to allow the volume to go to 0. So I'm getting a weird like echoey thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't hear it.
Is I can hear a little. Is this a Seat or Your Pants production type of play going on where the
Okay.
Well,
nothing's
I'm gonna say, do you know where you are? Our person, have we met?
we've met.
Our person in the field is sorting out the technical issues here. So I think the person in the field report is going to be the Seat of Your Pants production today.
The satellite feed is not yet working correctly.
Okay, I think I have a MacGyver for this. I'm gonna go turn my headphones. I'm gonna plug headphones into it, so that way you won't be able to hear it. Or actually, do you know where there's some?
Oh my goodness.
Did you like how
oh my
I
goodness.
switched that? I was like, I'm sure I could find some headphones.
Chaos and panic.
All right.
Well, I'm doing the most boringest thing ever. Is I have 8 gallons. I looked in my stockpile and I have probably 10 gallons of unsorted light gray. So
10 gallons?
yeah, it was just I sort by color first, and I had done all that, and then when I went into the bins to look at the colors, light gray, there was 10 gallons in there. So I figured, why not sort that out? Why not get the light gray all kind of arranged here? But
Just think of all the Star Wars ships that you could build.
a few,
Yeah.
No headphones.
a few, it turns out.
I'll be right back.
Well, I can tell you some of what we're getting into right now. We're planning and have been, I know we've mentioned it on the show before. We're planning another complicated animated piece. It's going to be about human scale, like roughly maybe 5 foot high or a little taller, which is a mechanical clock with a spooky theme.
Is this not the same one you've been working on? Or
Oh, it
did-
is the same one
Oh.
we've been working on.
Okay.
Yes. And,
I thought you
and
said it was a new thing. Okay, got it.
no. Well, it's new
It will
in
be.
that in
It
that
will be.
it will be new. We're
Yeah.
we're coming to it with a different set of skills than we had when we first started it. We did the Lego house piece in between when we started this. Didn't we start this before Lego Masters? So it's had a couple of chances to get dusty and dusted again in the meantime, but we're on it for serious.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it come together.
Yep, me
Well,
too.
I'm at a point now. We've buried multiple mechanics in the depths of it, and we'll show you that in a couple of minutes. But I'm at the point where I'm just about ready to start from scratch, building next to what we already have built, piece by piece.
Wow. Is
rather
that what
than
you're doing?
digging into it.
You're building so you are building a new one.
Well, I think it's going to be. The design was pretty much complete on a lot of the piece. But the mechanics are such. Have you ever dealt with a Technic model where you made a mistake 56 steps back?
Oh no, I never do that.
You know, and they get locked in. There's actually some Lego attachments that are permanent. Once you make them, you can't extract it out again.
It's true.
So I'm almost thinking of building this side by side with the new one from the ground up.
Okay, I forgot it working now.
Yeah, and that way you have your video game save point right next to it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
Here, I'm going to turn
let's
on.
see if I can turn this. There we go.
light.
So Hooded One wants to know if it's actually a functioning clock, but I don't. I think you're just
No.
using.
Well, it's a
clock.
little bit smoke and mirrors. There's going to be all the clock parts. There's going to be a ticking mechanism, which is actually
Well, do you want to start up with
yeah.
that?
This is Oh, are you going to show it here on
Yes.
this one?
So
Okay.
everybody can see our super messy
So
desk.
so the key to it right here, this is at the top of the pendulum. The pendulum will be hanging down here about.
Can you full screen it?
Yeah, I was trying to get
Oh.
it so I could show all of us and this at the same time, but it's not happening.
That's okay. We just want to see that.
Okay, so right down here, this vertical member here is the top of the pendulum, and the pendulum's going to be about 2.5 feet long at least. And then the key of the escapement, the actual ticking mechanism, is this saw blade here. And
That's somewhat similar to like the typewriter mechanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, yeah, but I think they use a smaller gear. I'm not
They do.
sure.
It's a smaller blade too.
Plus, he did this long before the typewriter came out.
Oh, of course.
So now this mechanism, this clock escapement, isn't my original design. There's multiple ones you can look up online that are complex from actual clocks that really keep somewhat real time. And then this mechanism up here is an auto winder. But I'm going to change it in that I'm no longer going to have the clock be gravity driven. It was so finicky that show back down here again. These little bushings that you can adjust from left to right, a difference of about 1 millimeter was the difference between this clock escapement working
Oh no.
and it just spinning freely.
Oh, no.
Millimeters.
And a pressure fit, there's no bolts on it because it's Lego. So a pressure fit distance of about the thickness of my fingernail was the difference between the whole thing working and the whole thing not. So we're going to drive it by EV3 and actually like have some force on this, keeping it going as opposed to having a weight that you have to raise and lower.
Right. So can you talk a little bit about that? Can you turn it around and show what the auto winder was going to be doing?
Well, here I can point down from the top. This large wheel back here is what was going to have the weight. And for the weight, I made a little Lego weight box that had about 50 quarters in it because those Lego weights don't weigh very much. And it would pull this down, keeping tension on the pendulum. And then this motor here.
So if you've seen a grandfather clock or a cuckoo clock, it's basically like on a cuckoo clock, the little pine cones on the end of a chain, right?
Are metal weights that keep the whole thing going. You raise the weight up, and then as gravity drops it down, it keeps tension on it.
Right.
And then as the weight comes down to the bottom to auto wind it, we've got this motor here. And do I have this? I'll look for the other piece. There's a gear ratio of 12:1 that keeps the minute hand going around with the hour hand. So every time the minute hand comes around to midnight, the hour hand has gone 1 hour. It's going to be on the hour, whether it's 9, 10, 11, or 12. And to answer your question a little more, Holly, it's going to have real clock mechanisms in that it'll have hands that turn. And Flynn, I need to go and find the hands that turn mechanism that's part of this.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go back to.
But it won't keep real time because we want the show to happen, the sort of show of all the minifigs and spooky ghosts and all that come out about every, what would you say, like
every couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So we want midnight to come very often. So the hands are going to travel much quicker. And I think on the, at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, we'll have small shows. And then at midnight will be the big grand spooky show where all the figures come out.
Fine.
And I want like spiders to climb the side of the clock.
Yeah. So basically think like the clock that's outside of Small World, but like if it was at a haunted house.
Yeah. Nice.
Essentially.
Love it.
But yeah, so
I'll be right back.
that clock mechanism, and that's the thing about this project and what makes it, I think, so hard is that clock mechanism is just one small part. Like that's just one technical thing. And you saw all those gears. And that's going to be, kind of has to run separately from, but also simultaneous to the base of the clock. So are you ready to show that?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So, and which, now tell us what this mechanism is
this
again.
in here, this is the actual clock hands mechanism, and you'll notice something odd about it. I'm going to turn the minute hand clockwise, and you'll notice, and this is my big issue that I need to deal with here, is, oh, here we go this way. My hour hand is moving backwards from the minute hand.
Yeah.
They work right inside one another, and the gearing works for that. But I've got the hour hand traveling backwards, which we thought that would be fun for a kooky clock. But I need to completely take apart this 12-to-1 gear ratio mechanism here, and refigure it so that the hour hand travels the right direction. So that's why I'm wearing my Oswald scratching his head.
Yeah.
You know, because
Well,
they need to go.
It sounds like you would need an additional gear in there, right? Because the gears are moving.
Yeah, you
Actually
have to
opposite of
switch the
each
direction
other.
of one of
Yeah.
them. It's
Yeah,
the whole
so
thing.
you need another lead gear and follower gear to make this work. But the problem is you've got them both on this central axle here. So I'm dealing with these tiny, can you even see, Flynn? These, where is it? There. This bushing has teeth on it. It's a special kind of bushing that has teeth on it that grab that to go, you know, from the center spindle. So,
and you guys,
say, and I'm, you know, 2 years down the road at least since doing this, I'm going to take this completely apart and rebuild it piece by piece to do that.
have you guys ever considered using that really weird large plastic tire with the gear on the inside to get that motion to sync?
You mean the weird kind of conical, like?
Yeah, it's normally used as a drill bit, or it will mate with a drill bit piece. But it's a big tire. It's got 6 Technic holes on it, but there's a gear ring on the inside. So if you put a small gear and a medium-sized gear inside it, you'll get the large one to rotate, and then the middle part, you know, can be
the other way.
That's only if you're going
larger. That might be a
only goes
larger
in-
mechanism than we can use.
Okay.
But we
Yeah,
should
it only
try
goes in 2 different directions, though.
We should try it. I think those. Is it a planetary gear?
I'll have to look it up here while you guys talk. So I'm gonna be staring at a screen.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. I'm going back to basics with this whole mechanism.
First, I need to clear my desk of junk.
Isn't
That's
that
all of us right
the
now.
way?
No.
Okay, so speaking of clearing the desk of junk, although this isn't junk, it's time to move this aside because a certain dog is going to want to come.
Oh my gosh, how even? Okay. Well, this is on a tray, so this should be.
Okay, well, it's smart for working on trays.
Going to want to come and help.
Yeah. Hi.
But
how did you know?
because it is time, friends, for the pause. No, you're early for the pause.
Right there.
It's Logan cookie time. He's helping today.
Good boy, Logan. Hey, say hi to everyone. Right there.
Here, get your butt. Yeah, he's got. I only left.
Right.
Better do some catching.
You caught 3 in a row.
Wow, 3 in a row. That's like I would say it's a record, but I think he would just catch them.
He would continue to catch them.
He's just helping Skittles. And now for Skittles with the weather. With the coffee cup. That's the best. No. That's what...
I'm going to end up throwing them in the coffee cup. You know this. Ready?
Whoa.
Watch us fly
That's
away.
like kicking stones there.
Ready? Skittles. You gonna catch it? Catch it on the table. Come on. Ready? Why are you like dodging
No one believes it, but I know Skittles catches trees.
I know.
It does. All the time.
That was some side eye.
I know, that was classic.
No. Don't put your slobber all over my parts.
All right, and that has been Logan Cookie Time.
Wow, Skittles was barely there for that one. She's like, I'm out of here.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, that side eye was amazing. That I want to now. We have to find that clip and meme it.
That's what
Meme it.
That's what I refer to as the burner look. That's when she looks like a Bernese Mountain Dog, and she gives you that look. Okay.
You would be so much bigger. I'm trying to imagine Skittles as the size of a Bernese Mountain Dog.
That's what her mom is.
All right, friends. So now we're going to take you to the. So what Richard showed you is this clock mechanism is.
It's the part that no one's going to see. The part that I'm working the hardest on.
course.
We'll have doors. That's one thing we've learned in the meantime since starting to do this is to make everything modular and give yourself lots of doors to access parts all over the place. Because
That's
otherwise, like with our werewolf clock, if something goes wrong with it, it's buried deep
It
inside.
has a door, kind of.
Kind of. Like we really need a lot of access to it. And we did that in the Billin piece as well to be able to troubleshoot.
Were you inspired by the sets at Leica that have all the like breakaways?
Yes.
Absolutely. You need to be able to get in there and service it. I'm going to give you some light on the matter here.
Sure. So, essentially, imagine, if you will, a grandfather clock that is, you know, the base is tall. It's got the little pendulum inside. And then on
the big casement, right, that has the pendulum ticking back and forth.
And then on the top of said clock, instead of there being just a clock face, there is actually a full-size haunted house that, much like the I got to put this up, the Small World clock is going to have minifigs that come out and move around. Now you can see that there's this set of double doors here.
The double doors open up and there's a floating ghost that floats around.
And you can see we have another entrance kind of here on the side, and you can see our conveyor belt, our sort of sushi boat style conveyor belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this other, here's the front porch, and then we have this other entrance. This window.
This window is closed.
So this window is fake. It's actually, you can see that it sits back from the wall. It's just an illusion with this window frame here. This actually sits back from the wall and is a sliding door.
Nice.
So on the notion that our spooky haunted house has secret panels, the whole wall opens up to allow the minifigures to come out and travel behind all of these.
So what you would see happen is it would hit midnight. These doors would open, and then you'd get your spooky ghosts flying around.
That glows in the dark, so it'll be lit with black lights.
Simultaneously, this little window, also this whole wall slides open, and you can see there's our like conveyor belt. The monsters will come out of there, travel along that conveyor belt, and into that little side entrance that I just showed you, and then go back behind the set.
Disappear.
And then they disappear in behind the set.
So there's one mechanic for the double doors. There's another mechanic for the wall. Another one drives the conveyor belt.
And then
that's in the first story of the house. We're going to have 8 mechanics in all.
now I know we've shown this before, but here's kind of like the top view. And you can see now now part of what can be a problem is working with chain is great, but when it gets too long, it's less reliable.
Well, gravity has an effect on it, making it dip, right? And,
Yes, so
and this is all of this layer is going to be buried, so it'll be really, really hard to get to if we slip a disc.
And then I'm going to turn this around. Oh, so Miss Lobrickta, Don's asking about the conveyor belt and what it's made with. It's made with it's 1x3
lift arms,
Technic lift arms that are connected top and bottom across from each other with a pin that has friction. That doesn't have friction. Right, and then
ideally it doesn't have friction, but when you get about 3 feet of this chain going in a narrow channel, it doesn't take much to be out of alignment and have the figures not want to go around. So that's one of the first technical challenges.
Yeah,
is to have this buried conveyor belt be smooth.
And I'm gonna sort of flip this around so we can look at the back here. Oop. Okay.
Oh, I see. We've got parts coming off.
Okay, so here's the back. You can see that we have our one EV3 motor here that's hooked up to this chain. Now, if you see this one with the handle, this is basically like a handle for testing. Like this will eventually have to be hooked up to the motor. But if you look down here, remember I was telling you about that window that is, sorry. This is that window that we showed you. You can see my finger behind it. That's the window that we showed you from the front. And if I turn this little crank, you can see that it opens, right?
Allowing the minifigures to come through on the conveyor belt.
Right. And then there's also at the same time, this little, do you see this green and tan piece?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's also got a piece that attaches to it that comes out. And that's where that's kind of where we ran into trouble. We had this kind of double sliding door. And it was a little tough to work out.
What is the green and tan thing?
Yeah, the sand green and tan. It's like wallpaper.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like when you see it from the front, yeah, like here's what it looks like. Here's what the other side looks like, right?
Sort of with wainscoting.
And then you can't see, I mean, I might be able to just pull this out. I'm gonna have to pull it out anyway, but you can see that I hung up from the Monster Fighters Haunted House. I think you can see I've got a picture hanging on the wall.
Nice.
It fell over. But I mean, you can see that there's just a ridiculous amount of stuff going on here with gears and whatnot.
Can you show down in there?
Oh, right. Yes. Down there.
Down there, we've got, I don't know if you can see in the below this upper diagonal chain, way down in there, there's a rubber tire which is pushing against the conveyor belt, and that pressure right there is what makes the conveyor belt turn. It's attached with, and you can show here, right in the back. So there's a lift arm right here that's attached with a razor there's a lift arm attached with a rubber band that's missing right here that keeps the tire pressure on the conveyor belt to have it move. So that's, and that pressure, again, it's not a bolted together mechanism. So that it's relying on rubber band pressure to do a lot of work, because there'll be weight with, how many, 6 or 8 different creatures on that conveyor belt.
Right. And, so Hooded One says, wouldn't it be easier to move the sliding wall door with the new worm screw? It might well be. We'll have to look at that. Of course, we didn't have that option when we first built this. And we actually, of course, I think we mentioned earlier, we know so much more now about building than we did when we started this. That, you know,
Now,
it's like,
I'm not sure I've seen the new worm screw. The worm screws that I've dealt with before can only go one direction. So they have to continuously travel forward, and you can't like
Yeah.
stop it with EV3 and back it up to, you know, to close a door. So we'd have to come up with a mechanism that only travels one direction.
well, maybe the new one goes
to
in
do
two.
I know. Do you know, does someone in the chat know if the new worm gear can travel forwards and backwards?
Not that I know of.
So a big challenge that we had on this is that our mechanism for sliding the walls back and forth worked really great when the model was open to the sky. But then once we locked everything down with bricks on top to start building the second tier, there was friction introduced
Yeah,
in
the
the
weight
system
created an issue.
that stopped the doors from moving back and forth.
But since then, Moto has actually turned us on to a cool sort of way of building a thinner structure that might help. But yeah, so that's
this is floor one of it's gonna have like 3 stories, isn't it?
yeah. So
And a roof.
this will have a like, you know, obviously this is all a floor. Then there'll be a second floor with a balcony, like an outdoor balcony, and more monsters that come out of the top. And then there'll be a third floor with I'm not going to give away what the third floor does, but it's going to be pretty awesome if we can get it to work right. Oh, look, there's the ghost.
Now the floating ghost, which will, you know, it kind of travels in a figure 8.
Exactly.
And we've made shade there, so we'll be able to see the light from the black light lighting up the ghost.
Oh, Hooded One says if the motor can reverse, the new worm screw should work in both directions. Oh, that's like, if that's true, if that works out, oh my goodness,
That would be great.
that would save us so much room. Like that would save us so many gears and things. Oh my goodness.
One of the things I love about the worm screw is that since it's basically one tooth that spirals around, your gear ratio makes it slow things down a lot. Like you can slow things down with the worm screw without, you know, a bunch of craziness of 24 to 8 to, you know,
right,
or the other way around.
It's funny when it's sometimes when I'm watching Lego Masters and I see them, you know, hurriedly trying to add in some kind of functions and you see the things going really fast. I always think to myself, man, you need a worm in there.
I know, worm screw. That was weird when I discovered that a worm screw has just one tooth.
Yeah.
Well, now I got it. Now I want to go buy the now we need to go get that worm gear. Because that would be cool.
I think you should do a little tutorial on worm gears and just remind those of us who
Oh, sure. We actually have.
play with gears.
Funny
you know.
that you would say that, Cara,
do.
because we actually happen to have a worm gear casing right here.
There you go.
Although we need the other gear that goes in here. So unfortunately, I just shut my phone down, so we can't do the.
Well, we can hold it up to the.
While you're doing that, can I present kind of the
please
thought
present.
I had? I don't think it's going to work, but let me. Ooh, how do I do this? Present, share screen.
Oh, I thought you were just presenting there. Yes, present, share screen, and then I will add it to the layout.
I only have one display. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a studio file. I figured out how to do that mechanism with the large plastic piece.
Oh, okay. We need the
And I threw it in studio, but now I can't share my studio screen, so that's too bad.
Really?
Anyway,
You should be able to. It should say present and then
okay, I'll give it a shot. Here we go. Present.
so
Okay, here we go.
Is it possible we don't have a 24 gear?
Maybe. Seems odd, but possible. Okay.
You know what? I got
Yeah.
I got something that's just as close.
Okay.
Does it give you a footprint like on a grid? What's the footprint of it?
Well, I'll show you here.
Or like what's the size of the tire?
Hopefully you can see my Chrome tab here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an Ninjago set where I remember this happened. They've got the 2 standard gears going. So in order to reverse the travel of the wheel tire to a correct orientation of the drill.
Oh, I see. You're talking about that thing with the spikes on it, right?
Yeah, this big hub.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we have so many of those. We use those for castle toppers.
So what's happening is the core gets reversed by this gear, and then this gear seats into the interior ring of this thing, and it will rotate the same direction as the middle part coming out, and then it'll drive at a different rate than this interior shaft and this outer ring. Now, the only problem is because you have a single Technic axle, this outside motion, you can't really gear off of. So I don't think it's going to work in the end. Also, I think these two gears are the only ratios that will work on the inside driving force of that large outer shell.
Got it.
Well,
So-
I think you're onto something with the planetary gear, though, because there's other, like this one.
Yeah, there's some really large Technic rings, like in the bucket excavator. And I'll stop sharing my screen there. Stop sharing.
Because we've got planetary gears, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to make that all drive down a single axle length is with different rates, that's where it gets really complicated.
So I've put together. Thank you for that, Moto. I'll actually.
there you go.
I'll check that out. We're gonna have, again, there's going to be at least 8 animated mechanisms in here. So that one, and I want other things to have gears that are visible, and that one's pretty spooky looking. In addition to being
Anyway.
So we got together
There you go.
this.
Yay.
Now I cheated. I didn't have a regular 24 tooth gear, so this is actually
That's the friction lock one.
yeah,
the friction
exactly.
lock.
So this red axle here is the one that turns. You can't turn this axle. It won't go the reverse direction. But if you turn this axle, it turns the worm gear, which is 1 tooth going to 24 teeth. So it actually slows you down 24 times. And this, you can see that the top one is going slower than the bottom there. And it's such a tiny, tiny little way of doing it, as opposed to going from like a 40 tooth gear or from a 8 tooth gear to a 12, to a 24 to a 40. It takes a lot of room.
I have one of those in my Coraline house, actually.
Oh, well, they're invaluable, right?
It's under the spinning piano. So I have a mechanism where you can wind. There's a winder on the side of the house that spins the piano around, and it's got a gearbox under there so that when you hook it up to a motor, it doesn't go whee.
Very cool.
Wow. Very cool.
It also turns your power 90 degrees, which can be very helpful.
Yes. And it really, really helps to have one of these boxes, like these little worm gear boxes. I mean, you can make one up, like it's definitely, but these are really ideal, and they do a lot of the work for you.
Yeah, and it keeps everything neatly in place too.
That's one thing that we found is so important with gearing is you have to physically lock it in place, because the gears push against one another and want to tear things apart. So the more you can, have a permanent or like a really rigid connection, the better.
Yeah, the new worm gear that people are talking about is 1-to-1, and I put the link in the private chat.
Yeah,
you need a ton of room for it because it's not compact. It's a big chunker of an assembly.
That's unfortunate.
Let's see.
Well, we haven't totally worked this part out yet because the haunted house is going to be actual architecture rather than looking at a bunch of gears. But I want there to be a way to show people some of the mechanism that's on the inside.
So that's
Yeah,
the new
cool.
one.
Oh,
Got it. Okay. Well, that's
It's
cool.
really big.
Yeah, if you go down, they show you how it's used with other gears. They also show a 45-degree gear movement, which is quite nice. But it is
Whoa.
bidirectional.
oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's more like an Archimedes screw than a I guess true sense of a gear.
Oh,
But there you go. You can
Some worm on worm action there.
Go back a little
But-
bit, will you, Flynn? That 45-degree motion there with the
Wow.
beveled gear is great.
Fancy.
That's,
So you can
doesn't it just seem like it would chatter and come apart?
No, it also there's a block, there's a brick to do linear motion off of it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
But is that
Yeah,
a
it's really
dupe of
neat.
it? Wow.
It's a really neat addition to the Technic system.
Yeah.
Well, being
Yes.
able to slide that brick along the length of the gear, going, especially if it can go backwards and forwards, would be a great way to do door openers.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you, New Elementary and Moto.
Yep. Well, new elementary mostly. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for
Okay.
pointing that out, and thanks for the idea, Hooded One. That's great. We'll definitely have to check that out. All right, friends. Well, it is about that time. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out today. We hope you enjoyed looking at a bunch of dusty gears and such. Like I said, we've kind of cursorily taking you through it before, but fun to kind of like go into a little bit more detail without giving all the secrets away. But yeah, you can kind of see some of the multiple crazy things we've decided to put ourselves through to make
there
this
you go.
model happen.
We had another. I'm on the edge of my seat right now because we were going to go to the Lego house this year and take our piece that's there apart and pack it up in the cases the way we know it goes. But we chose to take a different vacation.
hmm
We went to Hawaii instead, and Lego has just notified us that they've packed our piece up in its cases, ready to ship back to us. So I know we're not going to find more skilled builders than we find at the Lego house, but I don't know how much of how ours went together they could tell by just looking at it. So we may. I'm not sure what we're going to get back.
Honestly, I think anybody who knows what they were doing with a cursory few removal of a few pieces would be able to see how it all goes
I
together.
think I'd be more concerned about the transport. than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, that's
And that's flying.
I'm more worried about that than I am
Yeah.
about what they did.
Like even if the piece makes it all the way back to the airport here in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
you're waiting for things to come down the conveyor belt.
Yep.
And you see how many of you have been to an airport and checked your MOC, and you see it bang down the conveyor
Yep.
belt that last
Yep.
time.
But that's not nearly as bad as a mailing processing center. So if you've
Yeah,
ever seen how UPS and FedEx use those belts, conveyor belts, with all the
Yeah.
stuff just tumbling, so the boxes just tumble on the conveyor belts until they make it down to the bin, and then they
Wait,
Oh
come.
my God,
how are they delivering it to you? What's the service that they're using?
No idea. I
Oh.
know Lego generally uses DHL.
Well,
I don't know if it'll be the same, but we'll see.
Yeah, it may not have to go on the. I don't think it'll have to go on the carousel, like because the cases are oversized.
Well, personally, like I'm kind of excited just to be ready for the to kind of
Well-
2.0 it and have it ready to show at a convention.
Definitely.
I think because it's your baby, they're going to use a stork. They're going to use a Danish stork.
They're gonna need multiple storks. They're gonna need like a flock of storks.
It's going to be a pterodactyl scaled stork dropping your mock off at your doorstep.
Or multiple storks with strings in between them.
Yeah,
holding
exactly.
them.
They're going to. Yep.
Well, I don't know a source we can turn to who would have photographed all these things, but I would love to go over on the show some of what's in the Lego house for the coming year's gallery show as well. I would be so excited to see what's there.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. So
Well, yeah, we could do a walkthrough because they've taken photos of the current display case, haven't they?
yeah, we can definitely do that. So awesome. Well, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. We are going to sign off for today. But until next time, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, keep on wearing that mask when you feel like it's necessary. And now it's flu season, so get your flu shots.
Yes.
Yay, check out or thank.
No, I've made
And
progress.
very good.
Get your COVID
And
booster.
we will see you. Oh, wait, that reminds me. Do we have I'm sure, a Tricky Lug meeting next week? Yes, Cara?
We do. The Tricky Lug meeting is on Saturday the 7th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, so the same time as the streams today. We have a building contest, which is to build something with wheels or tires, wheels.
Yep.
Anything you want. It could be used. The wheels could be used as wheels, or they could be used as something completely different. It's entirely up to you. So build something with wheels. You can put it on Instagram, hashtag Tricky Lug Challenge and Tricky Lug Challenge 1023. And if you need an invite will be going out later today. Email me at trickylug@gmail.com. And we may be having Christopher Koster showing up to talk about his process for building those 3X parts that he posts on Instagram, as well
Sweet.
as the 3X horse
that's
that is
awesome.
currently in the Bricklink, whatever that designer program is called.
The pop-up mock
The
store.
pop-up mock store.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make it his schedule work so he can come on and we can talk about how he makes big parts.
Very cool. All right.
All
Looking
right.
forward to it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Happy building.
I like big mocks and I cannot lie. So the builders can deny.